Hey, folks, welcome back to the Pulse. Merry Christmas to you. It is the 24th of December. It is Christmas Eve. I got my Christmas background here. I don't know if you can see it here. Folks, I am just wanting to spread a little Christmas cheer with my friends. And I figured, I'd come up to the office. I was delivering Christmas presents to Mr. Ray. And I got to go pick up my daughter. She was at church this morning with her boyfriend. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to say hello to you folks because, a lot about what this holds this whole thing together is the community, right? I'm really excited about January coming up here, January 6th through 9. There's going to be a world record attempt by Maddie Allen to have the big Hex conference where there's going to be more. I think we're doing a Zoom call with more streamers than any other crypto thing. So it's a pretty targeted world record, and we're going to claim it as a world record. Well, it's gonna be really cool, and you're gonna be able to see how many people there are and just how strong this community is. That's the cool thing is when you can add to the value of crypto with friendship and with stuff like David Lee, right? David Lee coming to my dad's funeral, stuff like that, man. People all across, And what am I going to focus on here with you? I'm going to focus on the good stuff, right? I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna accentuate the positive. Why? Because otherwise, there's just no point, right? No point arguing amongst ourselves. There's too many good things going on and too much change happening that, the key to it all is working together. And that's what I'm trying to promote, right? How do we work together? How do we win together? That's the key. But really, this stream is a quick stream to say hello to you and encourage you and to wish you a Merry Christmas because, obviously Christmas is a big deal to me. And it's a great time of year because I feel like people pause, regardless of whether they are Christian and celebrated um, from a Jesus perspective. People pause, right? I mean, all across the world, they pause at this time, and it's a part of the cycle of life. And we get to anticipate a new year. That's what I love about it, right? New Year's resolutions, all that stuff, right? Crypto Heartbeat's going to slim down in the new year, right? Right, Rags? That's what we're going to do. Aren't we going to do that? Let's say hello to you, and then we'll jump into an article that I have not read yet that just came out in Newsweek about Texas. So we'll look at that. But let's just say hello. Let's just have a good time for a couple minutes here. Finn Bear, what's going on? I have not watched your video yet, but I saw it come across my timeline. It is good to see you. I know you've been busy, but Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for being here. And Sam Kemp, of course. Merry Christmas, everyone. This guy's got more energy. Sam Kemp, I hope I have as much energy as you do when I'm your age. You are an inspiration to all of us. Rich Liberation, what's going on? Merry Christmas, Texan. Exciting times ahead. Absolutely. A rising tide lifts all boats. Today, a matter of fact, let me show you. Well, I don't know if I can do this really quickly here, but if I can pass this across to my computer and then share it with you, it's on my phone. Our creek, we had so much rain overnight, literally the rising tide of the creek just ran over the bridge. They had to shut the bridge down this morning. My son and I were out there checking it out. It was really cool. But that's the cool thing, right? You got time with family, the tempo of life changes. And I think it's intended to be, or at least I would encourage you to be reflective. Sometimes for people, holiday times are actually pretty challenging, right? Whether let's say you're alone at Christmas time, or it's a reminder, or you've got to deal with family, or things like that. Sometimes I recognize that the holiday times are not always cheerful for everyone, and so we want to be sensitive to that as well. And I was just listening to Brandon talk to him yesterday, and he raised that money. Remember the fast that he did? He raised money and helped out two families, and just crazy stories. But what a blessing it is when somebody out of the blue. I mean, have you ever had somebody just thought about, hey, how am I going to serve people? And that, you know, because of you in our community, giving and supporting Brandon in his effort and others, um, families are blessed by that. That's what it's all about. Yup, Kay. What's up? What's up? Merry Christmas to you. DJ Bomber, Merry Christmas to one and to all. Absolutely. And David Lee. There he is. It wouldn't be a stream without David Lee. Merry Christmas from Southwestern Indiana. I hope you're enjoying your family and you get a chance to rest my friend. It is good to see you. Magnus, Merry Christmas. Have a fever. And also, is that the Charlie 19 for the fourth time? Man. Well, hopefully, each time you get stronger and it lasts shorter, right? So, Magnus, we're with you. I hope you feel better and hopefully be encouraged, connecting with friends. Um, let's see here. I'm getting a message from a little elf. This could be really interesting. All right, folks, I'm going to really encourage you to share this out because something just got came across my text messages from an elf far north in the North Pole. Actually, I think he's a relative of Finbear. May come in on the stream. NT Fryer, what's up? Happy Christmas to all. DJ Bollywood win. Folks, I don't know if I told you this, but DJ Bollywood stuck around and came to the Texicon conference. It was so awesome. DJ Bollywood, he even got dressed up in the regalia of Texas, and it was fantastic. Texas and crypto merger, and I don't know too many people who have rocket ships to the moon on their Texas wear. So, DJ Pollywood, good to see you. Happy holidays to you, my friend. Tin Top, what's going on? Merry Hexmas Hexicans. Anthony Munoz, there's the billionaire in our midst. Merry Christmas, Heartbeat. Keeping the main thing, right? Well, perspective's everything, right? Having the right perspective in this time. And why do we consume content? Why do we do anything, right? I think about it. You find yourself kind of navel gazing too much or focusing on one thing, and you have to back out. It's so important to have perspective. And hopefully that's what we do for each other, right? A big part of friendship and relationships and all of that is being able to share and not be judged, right? There's so many people that are fearful. They're fearful of what others will think of them. And we want to be supportive of those in the community by just giving people room to talk, to express themselves. Steve, Jen, Dougie, Peach, what's up, Mr. Matt? What's up? Merry Christmas to you, man. It's so great to have you here, Mr. Peach in the house. Hex Glenn, welcome back. Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. This is cool because I can cover all the Merry Christmases in one fail swoop here. Moondog, Love and Light, double David Lee's in the house. That's right, double David Lee's. We got something good going on. Fantastic. It's so good to see you guys. I'm so glad that you're here. If you've never commented before, because there's always kind of the regulars, I would encourage you, if you're watching this live, throw a comment in. Aperture LLC, perfect example. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for doing that. It's just nice to see who's watching and wish you Merry Christmas and all that stuff. But first, let's do this. Let's get into this article. I have not read yet, but this is an article that's done by Newsweek, and I'm going to give you my take on it because I literally have not reviewed it. But this is what's going on, folks. If you've been following Texan, you've been following what we're doing. A lot of this stuff is because we came alongside a political movement. There's news, there's big news. And here's the thing I also want to say, because a couple streams ago, we had Daniel Miller come in, and he is the one that this article is about. And Daniel, really thanked all of you. If you're somebody who donated to the TNM for the token distribution, you gave to a nonprofit organization called the Texas Nationalist Movement, and then that's how token distribution was done. What's amazing about that is you're the reason that this is going to get on the ballot. So let's take a look at this article together. Let me zoom in on this a little bit here. We won't imagine our landscaping. So many ads in these things these days. Look at all this stuff, man. Distraction. All right. Supporters of Texas, the campaign for Texas to secede from the United States and become a fully independent nation, have had a busy year. Earlier this month, the Texas Nationalist Movement, the leading pro-independence campaign group, delivered a petition with 139,456 signatures to the Republican Party of Austin in Texas, or of Texas and Austin. It's a big deal. It called for an advisory referendum on Texas independence to be included in the March 2024 primary ballot. According to the Texas Election Code, the minimum number of signatures needed for a referendum to be considered is 5% of the total vote received by all candidates for governor in the party's most recent gubernatorial general primary election. This has never been used before, by the way. This is brand spanking new. Well, not new. It's the first time it's ever been used in the election code. The most recent Republican gubernatorial primary was in 2022 when there was 1.954 votes million votes were cast electing Greg Abbott. So a total of 97,709 signatures are needed therefore needed for a referendum to be considered. So we've got this on our side. We've got it, clearly. In March, then Texas State Representative Brian Slayton introduced legislation calling for a referendum on whether or not the state should investigate the possibility, investigate the possibility of Texas independence. Though it failed to pass the legislature State Affairs Committee, it came after the Republican Party of Texas approved calls for a referendum on whether the state should reassert its status as an independent nation. This is for folks to vote and say, hey, this is what I think. Folks, this is going to be on the ballot of the Republican primary, and it is because of you. Had we not, with our crypto folks, come alongside the TNM, they would not have the resources to do this. You hear that? It is because of us together, working together, that this is going to be there. This is a big deal, folks. Now, this isn't like, some final vote, but this is what builds momentum. And here's the thing that I think is really interesting. When I listened to Daniel Miller speak at the committee meeting, he basically said, folks, give the people a chance to make their voices heard. And if they're not interested, and if it's so fringe and no one is supportive of this, then this is going to be, you're not going to have to deal with this for a generation. But I think what people are afraid of is they're like, well, the way things are going here, I think there might actually be a lot of support for this. And that is clearly the case. Let's see what else it says here. These moves have sparked growing interest in what would happen if Texas did vote to become an independent nation, as it was for 9 years between declaring independence from Mexico in 1836 and joining the United States in 1845. In an interview with Newsweek, TNM President Daniel Miller argued Texas is the antidote for a failing federal system. The one prominent academic branded the scheme a combination of fantasy and symbolic gesture, and another claimed that there is no plausible scenario in which Texas becomes independent peacefully. Well, at least they're acknowledging the fact that it can be, because that's the thing I think people are foolish. If they have any sense, they don't realize what history has said. Miller told Newsweek, the federal system is broken and Texans are paying the price. It makes more sense for Texans to govern Texas, and we agree with that. He blamed the federal government for the rising price of gas and groceries, along with the increasing national debt, adding, if it could be fixed, it would have been fixed. Miller envisions a successful independence referendum leading to a process of negotiation between Austin and Washington, ending with two independent but closely linked countries. He said, once the vote comes back in the affirmative, nothing changes immediately. Texans will begin a process to move towards independence that involves change to our state constitution, statutes that follow the constitutional changes, evaluation and execution of international covenants, treaties, and agreements, and the negotiation of issues with the federal government. If the federal government follows its near century-long policy of respect for the right of self-determination, we would expect the relationship with the remaining United States to be cordial and cooperative. On its website, the TNM argued that independent Texas should initially continue using the U.S. dollar to provide economic stability, meaning interest rates would continue to be controlled by the Federal Reserve. In the longer term, they call for Texas to seek a negotiated currency union with the United States, similar to the euro, which is the currency of 20 European countries. Though, could you imagine this, folks? Can you imagine what it looks like when we get a chance to reset this system? We reboot this system. There's literally going to be a committee in which we talk about crypto and currencies and all the things we're going to do in this new independent nation. And that's exciting. I never, ever thought we'd have the opportunity. And here we are. I'm just so thankful that we played a role in this. Miller told Newsweek Texas that would have no obligation to pay a portion of the debt accumulated by the federal system, and suggests that whether an independent Texas accepts a share would depend on negotiations with Washington over current government assets, including what would receive from the U.S. military. So if you think about it, you'd have to basically, this is a divorce, right? And what happens is, who gets the kids, right? That's the thing, right? Who gets the kids? We've got one of the largest military bases in the Western world right here. It's now Fort Cavazos, I believe. It was Fort Hood. And, there's a lot of considerations. So pretty exciting. And, when you think about this, there's a tipping point that happens. I think a lot of people make this assumption historically that these things have been just this, all these people active, right, in past times, Civil War times or French Revolution times or any revolution, American Revolution, that everybody was all in favor. In reality, it's been a small group of people. And so it gets to a certain point and it tips over. Okay. All right, folks, it's that time again. And you know what? To have this opportunity because it doesn't come but once a year, folks. He's not only the CFO, he's the CTO, he's the CMO, he's the CFO, he's the CEO, he's the supreme I done told you. He's the mayor of Sassy City. He is the commander of couch cushion maintenance. In the islands he's known is King Kamehameha. Folks, he's my ace in the hole. He's my Kid Creole. He's my Bob Dole. He's not internationally known, but he's also been known to rock the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the North Pole, helping out with all of the elves, Brandon from Rags to Riches. Dude, you look smart in your library.
Well, don't get confused there. It's all a trick. How you doing, man?
But great, man. Just thank you so much for coming in. I know that you're busy and everything, and I took it on a I had a little time and I was like, let me roll the dice with Rags, see if he'll come in.
Come in on Christmas.
Dude, that's awesome. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking my Christmas rum.
Ooh.
So I'll have a rum once or twice on Christmas. So
yeah. Is this like a Captain Morgan's, or you got something you're more like a?
It's like that. It's kind of like I guess it's a higher end Jamaican something or another. I don't really care. It gets the job done.
It gets the job done. Oh my gosh. What hat do you have on there?
So this is the Liquid Loans hat they sent to me. So
nice.
I actually really like this hat. So and it's cool because you can get different patches for it.
Oh, sweet. So when they rug you, you just put another one on?
Correct.
The next. Yeah.
That's brilliant, actually. The anti-rug hat.
That's right. Hey, I'll just replace it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's Marco the Hexkin makes these. He does a really good job.
It's a cool idea. Those are cool. Well, good. So you had obviously your fasting, and then you had this gift giving. Can you give people an update on the gift giving? Because it sounds like that was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it was pretty dramatic. So, obviously I fasted for 72 hours, and I had people kind of pledge a dollar amount for every hour that I did not eat. So we collected $3,000 or so, and I reached out to an organization that I had been a part of in the past that had helped my family out when I was a kid. And we found some folks who needed some help, and I ended up meeting those people at the store, one at 3:00 and then one at 4:30. And so the first family, it was a lady. She had, a couple kids, left an abusive relationship. She got COVID, and her dad had a heart attack, and she lost her job. And she was struggling real hard. So we go to the store, and the abusive relationship that she left, the guy was actually at the store and walks up to her and asked her why she had so many groceries in her cart.
No. Like, where'd she get the money?
Yeah, where'd you get the money?
Wow.
And fortunately I wasn't there because like I told you on the phone, I might be in jail on Christmas if that was the case.
Oh, but I can't imagine.
Yeah, it sucks for her. It just kind of goes to show you it's just a different world that some people live in, and it's scary for her. It kind of choked me up a little bit. She's like, I everywhere I go, I have to carry a calculator in my purse because I just don't have any money. And she asked me permission to buy food with the money I was giving her. I'm like, you don't have to ask anything. You do what you need to do. So gave her $1,000. And then met the second family.
How did she respond to that? Was she like blown away?
Yeah. She just started crying. She couldn't believe it because you got to think about it. Can you imagine getting a call like 48 hours before Christmas and saying that some stranger wants to give you a G, and you're broke? That's pretty crazy, right? So, and I told her that I represented a community online and talked about the Pulse chain. I didn't get too far in the details and the weeds because she's just in survival mode. And but I said, this is what I kind of do every Christmas, and we've helped folks out, and I was happy to help her.
Wow. What a special thing, dude. That's gotta be so like, so what's the second one?
So the second one was a lady, and she has 3 kids. 2 of her kids have extreme autism to the point where they can't function on their own and they need caretakers, and the state kind of provides that money. So her whole life she's had 2 kids with massive amounts of autism, and she's got one kid who's completely normal, but I was speculating that his childhood was probably robbed because he was trying to help out that family.
Yep.
And so, he the first thing that she asked, she says, "I know this is crazy. Can I buy him some nice shoes?" And I said, "Yeah, well, what's," she says, "Well, he goes to the school in the inner city and everybody has nice shoes and he never has. And I want to get him something special for Christmas." I said, "Oh,
Wow.
absolutely." So that was cool, So I met her I met her at Foot Locker and gave her the money, and she's just, thanking up and down, and went through the same conversation I had with the first folks about who we are and what we represent. And the program coordinator was there as well, because I think these women were kind of weirded out by meeting some complete stranger in outside of Foot Locker and Walmart. So
A ginger Sasquatch comes in.
correct. So we had some good conversations, and I had some good conversations with the program director. They don't have any financial literacy courses with this organization for these kids. So I'm thinking maybe we could kind of fill in the gap there at some point. They were really receptive to some of the ideas. So it was good.
Wow, dude, it's so heartwarming, but also I feel like effortless for you. You give people a hard time all the time, and I feel like, I always jokingly say you're the big brother for everybody, but you're watching out for people and you're willing to do it, right? There's a lot of people willing to talk about it and you're willing to do it. I feel like it's such a blessing to me to hear these stories and know that, our community's coming around helping that. And so I think that's what really defines us. Because if we don't have that, we're just like any other crypto, just people trying to get theirs. And this is, I think, what defines us in this community.
Yeah, it is, man. I find it pretty easy to go do these things because, um, just because if you've come from that, or you've known people who have come from that, then you just want to help these folks out. So I think it's our responsibility, if we have the means to do so, to give back. And that's just a broader idea and philosophy for me, to move away from the dependence on government. And I don't mean to bring that in too quick, but it's true. The more that we can be individuals, learn on our own, take care of ourselves, take care of our own, take care of our people, the better. And so that's the overarching philosophy behind that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Finbear did a video and he wants to. I'm trying to find it, Finbear. So if you can maybe DM me with it, I don't know if you're in a spot where you can send it to me. But Finbear was like, Matt, please play my short video from 2 days ago. It's for all you guys. So if you can forward that, or somebody can find that video real quick and shoot it to me in like Twitter DM, or even put it into the chat, that'd be super helpful. Actually, that'd probably be better, and we'll play that. There's a lot of great people here, Brandon. Um, yeah, like a ton of them. It's just so cool this time of year. Remember, this is our third Christmas together,
It's
Brandon.
unbelievable, dude.
Can you believe it? It was awesome. Like I was like looking back at all the streams we did, and just the nature of things during the bear market versus the bull run. I'm looking forward to. There's so many. I mean, think about how much money was thrown around during the bull run, as supportive and all that stuff, and it just goes to show you the kind of impact that we can have together, especially as we come into this next bull run. People, you're going to have real opportunities to make a difference. And, I got a taste of that last year, and well, 2 years ago. And now it's like, do you feel like we're coming into something into this new year? I feel things are really picking up. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I do know that traditional finance really, really needs a win, a sustained win. So I think that we can be reaping those rewards as well. I think we'll see that in 2024. The world's also in a really weird place, and the election's coming up, and I just hope that maybe things change, man, in 2024. I err on the side of being realistic / pessimistic, so I'm not counting on it, but sure would be nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I'm trying to find a way to. Do you know a way to copy this into? It won't let you click on
Just have him send it to
DM it.
you in the Compassion Cartel or
Yeah, yeah, Telegram or something like that.
Telegram.
Maybe David Lee can help with that too. Let me pull this up.
It works for me on my mobile.
Yeah, it doesn't work on here for me on laptop. Yeah, shoot it in Telegram or DM in.
Here, I'll do it right now, Matt.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, dude.
I'll be right back.
I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that that's Brandon's library behind him. I think he may be at a relative's house there having a little rum. Um, Hornet UK, what's going on? Thanks for coming back. Proverbs 11:30. The fruit of righteousness is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. Amen to that. Crypto Trucker, Merry Christmas to you. Um, let's see who else is here. Ryan, what's going on? All the way from South Australia. Everybody's happy to see you. Identity Block, what's going on? He's the West Virginia vanishing salamander. Okay.
So I call DJ and Dougie is the Charlotte Houdini. And I went to the Charlotte meetup and I'm talking to him and I turn around and he just vanishes. So he's the Charlotte Houdini.
Oh my gosh, that's
Apparently
great.
I'm the vanishing salamander.
That is so awesome. All right, I found the video, so let me pause this. Good old Finbear. Boy's looking good. All right, here we go. Let's put this up. The vanishing salamander. Legit. All right, let's see what our good friend Finbear has to say. Merry Christmas to the Hexicans.
Hey guys, it's Finbear here. I came to check out Helsinki in the middle of Christmas. I gotta tell you, I'm not that impressed, to be honest. I haven't even seen Richard or anything. But you dudes, some of you might know that I've had some real hardships this year, and I have to say that you Hexicans have really come through and shown what true friendship is, and I've really felt the love. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a peaceful New Year. I love you guys. Goodbye. Bye.
Okay, that is incredible. Finbear, thank you so much for saying that. Merry Christmas to you, and we hope that this is you enjoy this, holiday time. Hope you're doing well. But I have to say this: is he the Finnish David Lee?
I don't know I'm kind of disappointed that he made that video. But Mark, guys, that will never happen again from Finbear. It is what it is. I guess the feeling is somewhat mutual, Finbear.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of looks like David. He looks healthy. He's on that carnivore, man.
Is he doing that? Is he doing that?
Oh yeah, we're in a carnivore group together.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Well, I know he's working. I know he's working hard. That's what I love about this is that I don't know what it is. Is it Richard Hart? Is it the community? It attracts a group of people who are really genuine people. And that's the thing. The reason I mentioned David Lee is, besides they kind of look like each other, is that it's the same kind of people wherever you go. And I feel like what's happening in the world, with all this stuff, decentralization, political movements, all this kind of stuff, is that we're getting a feel for the fact that people are just people no matter where they are. And I think when I was a kid, we only had 3 channels back then. And it's weird that, we were spoon fed this stuff. People talk about how the mainstream media has kind of gone this way of, controlling the narrative. They've always controlled the narrative. We just now have alternatives to see that they're controlling it. But when we do this type of thing and get to know people across the world because of some cryptocurrency, we realize that people want the same things. They go through difficult times. They're challenged, but they're regular folks who want safety and security and protection and blessing for their family. That's like it.
This is I'll tell you, man, this is a big problem for people out there who wish to control the population. Pulse chain is a problem for them. And it's because you have a bunch of people who think for themselves, educate themselves, work for themselves, care for each other, pray, have spirituality. So this is an issue for them because everything that they do aims to strip individuality from people.
Yeah.
And strip community from people because you only need to be reliant on not God, but the government. So I think it's really, really neat that we are all together and we are growing and we are pushing out a message of hope. We are pushing out a message of opportunity, pushing out a message of giving, and we are actively helping our fellow man, and that's important.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw Tucker Carlson, one of the recent interviews he did or speeches, but one of the things I thought was really interesting is, and Jordan Peterson recently, there's a shift. There's a real shift between, I think that the folks want to divide us based on left and right. And what Tucker said, and I feel like what Jordan Peterson said as well, is that what we're seeing coming is that the delineation is not going to be between left and right. It's going to be between those who see themselves as gods and those who recognize the God, right? So, like, this difference between people who are like, all right, I can live forever. I'm going to download my brain into a computer system. This kind of transhumanist group of people, I consider the globalists, and those people kind of a godless group. And then those who are like, hey, basically that's going to be the ultimate delineation, because what's coming with disclosure and everything is going to lead us into this place where we're going to be surprised how much goes back to considering the spirituality piece of things as a main delineator. And it's really amazing to me that that's already happening. And it's like the divide and conquer cards, they've played them all and they're all kind of played out, and now it's getting down to the brass tacks of saying, well, who's in control? Are you? You control a better world by creating the social experiments that you're doing, or are you recognizing a creator and people's independent ability and rights? And what do you think about that? Do you think that's true, that that's where things are headed?
It's so true, man. And the scary part is, you talk about the brass tacks. It's like, once all the gimmicks and games and tricks are done, then we're really going to see what these people are all about.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Whenever this happens in history, bad things can happen if people aren't willing to stand up. So, one of the cool things about the Western world, one of the cool things about the Constitution and how the United States was built, is we still do have these values and these traditions ingrained in society that is almost like an immune system. So when things like this happen and people seek to control, uh, good men do rise up, and we have that ingrained in our spirit, and that's what we need to do. And it's not about nationality. It's just about doing the right thing and pushing back against these freaking monsters, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think what we're doing here naturally, we don't think it really makes a difference, I think, a lot of times.
Right.
But just connecting with people, playing Finbear's video, for example, we don't think of that has value. But if you think about it, what does this do? My kids don't think about things, between nations and people groups, right? And, I remember everybody coming out against multiculturalism, and for political reasons, I understand why. But it's really interesting. My kids don't see things like, oh, this group of people are bad, even though people in the news are like, you're supposed to hate Russian people. I don't hate Russian people or Ukrainian people or Jewish people. I look at people individually, and when we engage with them within our community, they're like, yeah, people that are helping out. We got friends across the world. And I think that's the thing that you don't realize. The more you participate in this community, regardless of what you do, what we're doing is we're creating this relational tissue that is like, that is actually what we're going to be able to rely on in the future.
Dude, it's so true, man. That connective tissue, spiritually, emotionally, shoring these relationships up in person, it means a lot. And that's why I always say, and you echo, crypto is cool, and being able to enrich good people is a good thing. But ultimately, if crypto burns, we still have our community, and we're
Yep.
still going to be. You and I are still going to be in the stream talking about the same things, because these things are timeless. These things that matter, they're timeless, and we need to talk about them. We need to educate people. We need to have these conversations. We need to spread the word. So we're going to keep doing that.
Yep, that's great. That's great. Francis Paul, just wanted to say hello to you. Godfather J6, did you catch his stream, dude?
Dude,
Like
he's
a freaking
crushing, man.
star was born.
Oh, no,
I was
dude.
like, this is not what I expected from Godfather J6. That is legit.
Yeah,
So
I super proud of him, man,
yeah,
because I mean, he's an example of, I think that for a long time he was information gathering and he's forming his own opinions and it was just awesome to see all of that come out on stream. Guys, if
yeah,
you don't know, Godfather, put your channel in there. Godfather created a YouTube channel and
yeah.
he's talking
Please,
about
please
Texan
join.
and
Yeah.
Pulse Chain and just everything that he likes and Hex and all that.
Dude, it's so cool to see people kind of come out. But there's no one that's gathered more data than Godfather J6 because literally everywhere I go in the Hexagon Pulsican community, he's always there. So
Well, I loved it. Last night he was like, "Hey man, where can I go to read the code, read the math?"
yeah,
He's this morning he was like, "Hey dude, I had to stop after a couple hours, but it sure is nice to have Chat GPT
yeah,
copy and paste the code in." And he's getting granular with it, and that's what you need to do if you want to understand something. Go to the source.
yeah.
So I really appreciated that about him.
That's so good. Trinity Real, thanks for being here. Merry Christmas. I saw Texan has almost paired on both chains. It comes and goes, right? We'll see it separate and we'll see it connect.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's some things that are happening in the background, Brandon, that we're working on that we're really excited about. I mentioned the article from Newsweek that about the Republican primary. We're seeing a lot of things, good forward-looking leading indicators, if we will, that are good. And I'm more bullish than I've ever been about what's coming for the Pulse chain and for crypto in our community. Stay tuned. We're still working. We can't announce anything yet, but there's some neat things going on.
Well, every day that the Pulse chain stays alive and thrives is more and more vindication for everybody who's stuck around, Matt.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you something too. This was interesting. There was a video of Richard Hart saying, who knows, one day some founder might just wake up and just start market buying his own token for absolutely no reason at all.
That's right.
So, guys, that's crypto, by the way. And one day you could wake up and pull up your portfolio and it could be wild. So,
Well, and if you think about it, that's, we're still in casino land of speculation, and more buyers and sellers is what drives things. And you're absolutely right. When you look at this, the people that have the resources buying up their own token, it attracts everybody in because people are just cannot resist green candles. And that's how things are manipulated. But that's also how things move, is because it's about momentum. Why do you think that these meme coins do so well? Is because they strike a nerve, but someone primes a pump. And if you look at a rug pull, for example, and I've looked at so many rug pulls, it's somebody coming in, buying a lot of their token up, trying to get things up on the radar, right? It's a group of people that are working together to push something up to get people's attention. That ends up hitting the radar of the kind of public sites. The kind of the retail people think that this is the next thing. They jump in, and at some point in time, they collect up all the ETH or whatever it is, and they rug it. But
well,
that's what happens when it's a nefarious thing. But
yeah,
that still works.
imagine if you really liked your community and you liked what it stood for. And
Yeah.
one day you just
One
woke
day.
up and just
Yeah.
started going crazy.
That's right. It could do that. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. No one prayed for me before rags. Wow, that's a big statement there. That's really nice. The only one. What is up, only one? Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. Um, let's see here. Who else is here? Hornet UK1. Chris, good to see you. Oh, Crypto King from Japan. Boom. Merry Hexmas Hexicans. Good to see you. And, if this was only actually true.
I know, Godwell.
Did you see
What's up,
that funny?
Godwell?
What was that funny meme that said that Andrew Tate was the Godwell? I just got
I
a kick
saw
out
that
of
he's
that one.
smoking a cigar or something.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That is so hilarious. If it is the Godwell, welcome and thank you. So here's the question for the Godwell, or actually, no, for you, Brandon, from the Godwell. How many rums have you had? That's what I want to know.
This is my first one.
Oh, okay.
And I do feel buzzed right now. That's how lightweight I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Dude, all right, let's see who else is here. All right, have a safe holiday to everyone. Absolutely. Brandon, thank you so much for joining. I didn't know that you'd be able to, and I'm so thankful you did. It's always good to hang out
Dude,
with you.
thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you bet. Have a great Merry Christmas to you. We'll catch you on the other side.
All right, buddy, be good.
See you, man.
Bye.
All right. How awesome was that? It's always better when Rice comes in, right? The numbers go up. Everybody gives him a hard time. Hexter, good to see you. ID with the fire. Richard Hart's baby. That's right. Well, you know what? That's one of the greatest comments right there. Think about this. Richard Hart's been through a lot, right? He wants to create a better Bitcoin, and he does. It's called Hex, right? It goes up 10,000x in 623 days. He's an advocate for people not getting wrecked. He's an advocate for true DeFi. He's an advocate for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of transaction, freedom of privacy. He's one of the only people that's out there that's kind of the original OGs, if you will, mining 50 blocks Bitcoin. Big question here, and I think this is where it kind of is kind of binary. Richard Hart has produced another baby, right? That baby is the Pulse chain. And he's always thinking many steps ahead. I saw stuff, all kinds of FUD on Twitter that basically said, Richard Hart, man, he's, if you search him online, he's running from the SEC, all these things. And I think if you were coming in to research things, it doesn't look good with some of the news stuff online. There's got to be, in my opinion, with the whole divine orchestration of all of this stuff, is the redemption of Richard Hart, meaning he has all the receipts that this is phony and this gets thrown out. It doesn't get, I hope it's not a summary judgment just because he's avoided things, because then that they just, paste the label that he's a fraudster, right? Now, obviously that's in the kind of common vernacular, and it's been since the beginning that he's a scammer. But how great would it be that at the very last minute, there is, whether it's a trial or whether the case is dropped, um, there could be this amazing redemptive arc. And I'm going to tell you what, folks, if he's cleared of all of these things and it's shown that the SEC is overreaching, which, many, many cases have shown that for other people. In fact, there's a group called the Debt Box, who the judge basically is going to penalize the SEC because they basically interfered with this company who did everything right. And the judge is like, you guys way overstepped. You made up stuff. And so they're going to penalize them. There may be actual damages against the SEC for Deadbox. And that's a crypto group that does asset-based crypto. And so what's really cool about all this is that I believe I believe that we're going to see the redemption of Richard Hart, that this is going to go, it's going to blow over and it's going to get resolved. And he's going to be able to, he's going to come back and in a really new way. And it's going to be like the battle lines are drawn between true DeFi and, traditional finance. This will be post, Bitcoin ETFs. So we're going to be into the new year, Bitcoin halvening. And, Richard's got a lot of friends and a lot of influence and a lot of resource. And we get through this. And what ends up happening is, just like Brandon said, what happens if you wake up one day and the guy who wants his baby to look good, right, starts market buying, and a lot of other people with him? Because here's the thing, you don't want to market buy when there's questions about whether the bottom's in, because people just, paper-handed people just want to get out. We're going to see that when the Pulse chain hits this kind of sack rate. We're going to see the paper-handed people kind of take their money off the table. But there's going to be so much momentum in this. And that's the thing that you don't realize, is that it's like a benevolent king. That's why the OA makes sense, right? If it just, how many times poor people create tokens, right? They just go down. And when you have people that understand that it requires quote unquote marketing, and marketing is green candles, by the way, marketing dollars are buying up your own token and protecting the price. And frankly, in this, that's why people don't like, crypto like this, is because they know that it can be manipulated. But that's why we're in this thing, because the gains are so big and everything is shifting and changing. And this is the volatility. The price you pay for the best performing asset is this volatility. So hopefully you can make sense of it, do your own research and play the game right. But the promise of it is amazing, right? It's a shift to abundance. But right now, the powers that be that represent evil forces, in my opinion, want to control it. And they're going to do everything they can to try to stuff this thing back in the box. And there's no stuffing it back in the box. Look at who is here. Daniel Miller. Merry Christmas, y'all. We just read your article, that Newsweek article, which I think was actually more fair than most of them start out to be. But folks, it's congratulations to you, Daniel. And really, it's got to be redemptive to you to see such progress, right? You've taken shots all the time and you've kept coming back. And I watched your many of your podcasts. You sound so good. You sound strong. You sound confident. You sound energized. Um, I just want to encourage you because we're with you. And last time you were on, you thanked the people of crypto that they made a significant contribution to this effort to get things on the ballot. And there are people across the world who have done that. And so I want to say thank you to you. I have a point of pride in this to say, you know what? The people that came around the TNM and gave money to the TNM and are a part of the Texan community, you are to be thanked because you contributed to making this possible, because it took resources, it took a lot of things. And I know it was a shot in the arm to the leaders at the TNM and the volunteers. And so a lot of great things are happening, folks. And we have a great leader in Daniel Miller, a humble leader who's knowledgeable, who does not give up. And so we want to continue to pray for you, Daniel, and your efforts. And thank you that we have an opportunity to come alongside you. It is a worthwhile effort. Daniel Miller says, if your opinion of someone is based on the opinion of the federal government, then you need to quit buying meth at the Dollar Tree. Amen to that, dude. That's so great. Hexter, yeah. Grant Cardone, yeah. There's a possibility of that. That would be so awesome. Can you imagine Richard Hart comes back looking like David James? Just like, wouldn't that be awesome? Like almost unrecognizable. He's just shredded. I'm not sure that's the case. He really likes, I think, the chicken wings, but it would just be great to see him. It's funny how much, what's created. It's like, you're not William Wallace. William Wallace is 12 feet tall and shoots lightning bolts out of his arse. That's kind of this legend of Richard Hart that's happened with him being gone. It's like, man, if he came back, can you imagine? It would break the internet. But that's also plays into this, right? We have all this anticipation and all of this because, a lot of these things are converging because the pulse chain does represent true DeFi, and the moves that are being made are leadership moves about getting things into IPFS and, the zip files and all that stuff. It seems like, oh no, but that's the whole thing about it, right? You think the evil side will win, right? Oh no, oh no, oh no. But there's a group of people, and that's what it's really all about, that when this thing moves, it's going to move. And I think, if anyone's been good at timing the market, even though we're not supposed to do that, Richard Hart is pretty good with that. Daniel's like, don't make this weird, man. You know what? That's my job. Like, my whole channel is about making it weird, right? I'm the guy who's like, yeah, over transparent about those things because most people, like especially men, are not willing to say, you know what? I love you, man. I'm gonna make it weird. You know why? Because we just don't have enough of that. That's how I feel about it. But you can be legitimate. I'll be illegitimate. I've imagined Richard Hart to come back shredded too. Isn't that funny? You men with your homoerotic beliefs, you're just like, man, if he could just come back and be hot, that would be awesome too. Daniel's gonna do that, right? He'll have a stomach prison tattoo that says X-Line. I said in the last stream Daniel was on, I said, the great thing, Richard mentioned it many times. We got the best logo, we got the best domain name. And I was like, everybody knows how to spell hex. And Daniel's like, he writes HECKS. I'm like, dang it. Okay, wrong again. Wings are okay. Just not fried in seed oil. Cow fat is cool, but that's, Richard hasn't had the best diet. But, you get to a certain point. What is he? He's in his late 40s now. I'm 50 and boy, it's catching up with me and I know it. You just got to watch out for it. Maybe he'll get diabetes like me and he'll have to like get his act together. Or bacon fat. Oh, there's nothing like bacon fat, man. Frying your eggs in bacon grease. Whoo. I was hoping that MetaMask could do an airdrop. Absolutely. I think a lot of people were hoping that would happen. Hex Monkey, what's going on? Click the like button. Or else you're banned from Texas. Yeah, you're going to get into the back of the line. That's what's so cool about Texas independence is that, talk about something that doesn't have a head that you can cut off. I love this momentum that we've got. And, delivering 139,456 signed petitions, far exceeding the requirements, And it's such a test, and it's such an indication that this is the right time for everything. Because this is an investigative type of referendum, right? Because it's on the Republican primary ballot. It's not, this isn't a general election. And what it does is it creates momentum, right? It's like, well, hey, look at the Republican Party. Look at how many of these people. And so it does kind of tip your hand that something's coming. And I think the opposing forces will kind of, raise capital and those like and become, the opposition's going to get strengthened. But that also means that we're going to be strengthened. And then now think about this. If it coincides with the bull run, imagine we've got resources too, and we're decentralized, and this stuff is going to the moon, and we can support, and Daniel can literally call on you. Hey, Hex Monkey, need some help. Or hey, Matt, or hey, Finbear, whatever it is. And it's like, all right, we got your back, man. Hex Monkey, thanks for being here. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Unless, you did look slim and trim. I assume that's from eating the carnivore. Hopefully it's good health related. Crypto Compassion, good to see you. Hey, we're going to sign off here. Yeah, Richard could do that too. You never know. He's going to surprise us regardless. Folks, thanks for joining the Pulse today. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Christmas Eve for those that have not gone into the new year or into the new into Christmas Day yet. I'm thankful for you. Thank you so much for all the support that you've given us. This is the third Christmas with this community, and I'm really excited about what 2024 looks like. We're going to sign off. It's 2:22 here in Central Texas. Take care of yourself and do not mess with Texas. Take care, everybody.